This is a story from the 6th century about a monk from southern India who walked across the Himalayas to deliver a teaching that nobody in China was ready to hear, and an emperor who had done more for Buddhism than any ruler in history, and still missed the point entirely. First, you need to know about Emperor Wu of the Liang dynasty. He was not a casual patron. He had built temples across his entire kingdom, commissioned the copying of thousands of sacred texts, ordained countless monks, and given vast portions of the imperial treasury to support the Sangha. By any measure, by any standard anyone had ever applied, he had done more for the spread of Buddhism than any emperor before him. He knew this, and he wanted, reasonably, he thought, to understand exactly how much merit he had accumulated. So when word reached him that a remarkable monk had crossed from India, an Indian prince from the Pallava kingdom in the south, who had renounced everything and walked across the mountains with nothing but a staff and a begging bowl, the emperor summoned him to court immediately. The monk's name was Bodhidharma. He entered the imperial hall without ceremony, without the diplomatic softness that most visitors displayed before the throne of the most powerful man in China. He simply walked forward and stood before the emperor with eyes that, those who were present later said, made people step back. Emperor Wu leaned forward and asked the question he had been preparing. "I have built countless temples, copied innumerable sutras, and given support to thousands of monks and nuns across my entire kingdom. What merit have I accumulated through all of this?" Bodhidharma looked at him for a long moment. None whatsoever. The court went completely still. The emperor contained himself and asked the second question, the one the scholars and monks had debated in his court for years. If there is no merit, then what is the highest truth of Buddhism? Vast emptiness, Bodhidharma said. Nothing holy. The emperor was running out of patience now, but he had one more question, the one that had been sitting beneath all the others. He looked at this strange monk standing before him, this Indian who had walked across the world to say nothing was holy, and that all his good works counted for nothing. Then who is it? Who stands before me? Bodhidharma looked at him. "I don't know." The emperor did not understand, and Bodhidharma could see that he did not understand, and so there was nothing left to say. He turned and left the imperial hall, crossed the Yangtze River, legend says on a single reed, and walked north into the mountains until he reached a cave near the Shaolin temple. And there he sat, facing the wall, for 9 years. The scholars of Zen have been unpacking those 3 exchanges for 1500 years, and I won't pretend to exhaust them here. But the thing that stays with me, the thing that seems most alive in our own time, is what Bodhidharma was pointing at with his first answer. None whatsoever. Not because temples are bad or sutras are worthless, or the monks who were fed and sheltered by the emperor's generosity were somehow diminished by it, but because the emperor had turned generosity into a transaction. He had given, enormously, genuinely, at great cost, and then immediately asked for the receipt. How much do I get for this? What have I earned? The moment you ask that question, Bodhidharma was saying, you have already answered it. Because genuine giving, genuine practice, genuine devotion has no place for a scorekeeper. The moment there is a scorekeeper, the gift has become a purchase. Bodhidharma left behind no grand institution, no library, no monument to rival the emperor's temples. he left behind a man sitting in front of a wall, insisting that the answer was never on the other side of it. I'll leave you with one question today. Where in your life are you doing the right thing but keeping score? This has been The Long Thread, Ancient Stories for the Present Moment. If this story stayed with you, follow the long thread and wake up to a new one tomorrow.